Now with number 11, we're getting into difficult territory, right? We're the back third of the no calculators multiple choice questions. So we should expect this to be a difficult question. And probably just looking at it, you also obviously see that this is kind of hard. But remember, SAT questions are hard in different ways. In this particular case, it's hard because you need to memorize formulas. If you don't know how to read a quadratic, you're going to have trouble with this question. There's no real trick here other than just to memorize what you're supposed to know. The good news is if you have memorized those things, this is relatively easy. So the first thing we should start with is the vertex. It's the first part of the answer choices. And so this equation here, this second equation, is the vertex form of this quadratic. So we really just need to make sure we understand how that form of the equation works. The generic version of it is y equals a x minus h squared plus k, where hk is the vertex. So we just need to really line this up and just see how this all matches. So this version is y equals negative a x minus b squared plus c. And so you can see that that negative is built into the formula. So the negative is not really going to affect things here in a meaningful way because in this case, just following that same pattern, if h is the x-coordinate of the vertex in the generic formula, then b should be the x-coordinate in this formula. Okay, so that negative kind of gets left behind. And then c is just the y-coordinate. So the vertex for this weird version is bc. So that gets rid of choices C and D for us because that has the wrong sign on the B. Then looking at our choices, we're working backwards here. We're really just seeing what else do they care about. Well, does it open upward or downward? And so A, when it's negative, normally means that the parabola is going to open down. But we need to check with this original graph and say, okay, what is the A in this particular graph? Because that's going to determine things. In this case, it is exactly as we would expect. This graph opens up, so A is a positive number. So we can just say, for example, it's positive 1, just to make things easy. So when we go down to this new equation, and we change the A into a negative, we should just change it as normal. There's no real twist here. This would be something like A is negative 1, which means that the parabola would open downward. It would look something like a frowny face. And so that is the only other rule that we need for parabolas here. And that A is kind of the same A, whether it's the standard form, like in the graph, or whether it's the vertex form, like in the question. So that tells us whether it opens up or it opens down.